So today just finished off in the indoor facility with our red zone, gold zone practice. Got a lot of good situations in there. It was a sharp, crisp practice. Really enjoyed it. Watching the guys' speed. The guys seem really fast today, quick out there. So it was good. Relative to, the health of our offensive line, Cody's been going all week. He's done a really nice job. Tevin's done a really good job, in there. So it's good to be back to full strength there. So we're excited about that for sure. Really everything else is we're waiting to see on a couple other guys, right now. Claypool, waiting to see, if he progresses. You guys saw the whole Dante. Again, he tweaked his foot the other day, so we're just waiting to see on that. That'll be in the next 48 hours. We'll be able to look at that. So that's really what we're looking at in terms of guys going for the game. But, Justin's had a really good week of practice. He's been sharp all week. Love the plan on offense. The defensive guys have done a really good job in terms of executing the entire week, so we're really excited about that. And we're excited about this opportunity to go to Detroit here and excited about that competition with those guys. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Based on what you've seen from Claypool at this point, are you optimistic or pessimistic? If you were a betting man, would you bet he's going to play or not, based on what you know now?
I think, Mark, right now we have him as, what is he at? There you go, questionable. So that's really where he is. That's the percentage we have him at. But again, he looked good today. We'll see any residual effects from the practice, all that, but he looked good today, so we're excited where he is.
Weather won't be an issue this week. What are you hoping to see from your offense?
Yeah, it's good. Good to be back to full strength. For sure. Relative to who we have right now. But it's good. The guys look quick, look fast. We're excited about executing on a fast surface, which is cool, and we're excited about that.
I don't know how sharp or how crisp practice actually was, but that it was a good practice. At this point, it was 3-12 season with 8 losses in a row. Does that mean something to you? Does that make an impression on you, or is this just business as usual? You expect it. Is there some value in that you're getting good practice?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, they've been good practices. The guys have been working, all throughout the year. But the guys seem, like it was just really good today. I was excited about the tempo in which they moved, and the execution was good. And the guys are really honing into the details.
Is that a real thing where coaches kind of, quote unquote, lose a team at the end of a bad year? I mean, is that something that you, especially first-year coach, have to avoid or want to avoid?
Yeah, I don't ever think that way. I just always, like I said, I start with the individual man, and I talk to them, separately. I always, obviously talk to the team 3 or 4 times a week. I'm always in the unit meetings, some position meetings, so I have a good feel for the guys. And, the leadership of our locker room has been awesome. The guys in there have done a great job of leading, first of all, themselves. That's the first quality of a good leader, the ability to lead yourself. And they've done that. And then our coaches. Our coaches have done an amazing job of staying positive, staying in the day, one day at a time, and executing on that opponent for that particular week. So that's how we kept it going.
You've obviously played a lot of weather games. You talked about looking forward to playing indoors, fast surface, etc. Do you evaluate things any differently in these settings when you're like, okay, this is how our operation should look in these settings, XYZ, any differently than maybe last week?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the second thing you said is probably more when you're in the weather. Man, that takes, especially up here, it takes a lot of adjusting. You have to adjust and adapt to what you think is going to happen, and kind of forecast what you're going to do for this scenario, that scenario, and then you got to be able to adjust and adapt game day. Because the things can change, that day, and then also during the game. So you have to be really nimble, and you have to already have a plan for that. When you're dealing inside, you don't have all those variables, and certainly you have your different things you talk about, kick lines, 4th downs, and all those things that you talk about in a normal game. But so it's we're excited about it.
Of course, the standard is always the standard. But are you looking for things to look a little bit sharper since we're playing indoors and all that?
Yeah, I'm just like we said all along. We talked about these last 4 games. We're looking at sharp execution, and we have 2 left against 2 divisional opponents, and the Lions are this week, and we're excited about getting the execution going. especially in the critical moments. You talk about third down, gold zone, red zone, sudden change, 2 minute, all those situational areas that we do have to do a good job with. But we've been working hard at that.
Matt, when we were watching the Lions-Panthers game from a week ago, from your defensive perspective, what went wrong for that Lions defense in trying to contain the Panthers' rushing attack?
Yeah, I think the Panthers did a good job of executing. They really did a nice job. They had some good schemes in there. And again, it comes down to fundamentals. I'm sure that the other coach would say, hey, it's all 11. It comes down to the fundamentals. And that's what I saw.
Is that difficult to, I guess, change up from a week, from them going from what they did last week to a week now?
Oh, because they've been really solid. Their defense has been really solid. I know they had kind of a rough start, but as of late, it's the numbers tell you that they've been solid. In terms of stopping the run, in terms of being on point, in terms of their point, letting up points, that's been down, and that's why they've been on that run that they've been on. They've done a nice job of executing.
Is that in practice?
Yeah. Yes.
And with EQ, just what does getting him back at the offense? I think you look at the stat line, like one thing,
Yep.
what does he really provide for you?
Leadership. He provides leadership. He really does a good job with the other players. He can play multiple positions. He's a big target. The play that he got hurt on obviously was a big third down, strike to start that game. So he's done a great job all year in terms of his leadership.
Okay, your defensive line, just pressure in general, but the defensive line has not been as probably as productive as you like. You're going up against a pretty good offensive line. How much of a test are you looking at this? I mean, not just one game, but I mean,
Sure.
Is this defining? Will this be defining at all? Will this tell you something?
Yeah, I think whenever you play a quality opponent, like the Eagles or the Bills or the Lions offensive line, the last three lines we've played are going to be really obviously really good. So it's important to play with good fundamentals and technique against those good players, and some of them are elite. There's been elite offensive linemen that we've played against recently, so you get a pretty good evaluation.
And obviously, you want Jalen Johnson and Kindle to be healthy and out there.
Yeah.
Is there a hidden benefit having these three rookies, two of them undrafted free agents, out there playing, not only so that they're getting the game reps, but so that you can evaluate them on Sundays?
Yeah, it's been great. It's like I said about Gordon for sure. He gets another opportunity to play outside, so we love that opportunity for him because he has to use different skill sets there. So I think that's really good on his part. And then also Blackwell inside, Jones on the other side. Those guys have done a nice job. And the experience they gain by going against different receiver skill sets. That's always, the ability to adjust your game based on who you're playing. And you have to cover guys differently. You can't just cookie cutter it and say, I'm going to cover this guy the same way I covered the last guy. So I think the more games they play in, they get that experience.